When it comes to conflict, I'm unapologetically intense, which sounds a little dramatic, and it's true. When I hear hesitancy in someone's voice, feel tension in the room, something in me is drawn like a magnet. This desire to navigate conflict began early. I was raised by 2 educators. Our home was filled with love and a deep belief in service, structure, and showing up for others. My dad, a former coach turned superintendent, and my mom, an award-winning school counselor. They had a gift. They had a gift for helping people make difficult decisions, demonstrating compassion and care. And then I was one of several siblings, and on those long summer days, we would argue, we would fight. We'd call my mom at work occasionally. She'd be like, "Figure it out. I trust y'all. Work together." And we did. I was learning to navigate conflict long before I knew the words. And I was also fortunate. I had a 4th grade teacher, Mrs. Husky. She helped students see the good in each other. When there was a disagreement, she didn't scold. She'd say, "You know what I appreciate about you?" She'd say it to both students, reminding us of who we were beneath the conflict. Years later, I sent her a thank you letter. That simple gesture, seeing people as more than their worst moment, it's a gift I've carried with me. These childhood experiences and my work with community mediation centers across the country have shaped the way I handle conflict today. They've let me know that conflict doesn't have to mean chaos, and that restoration is possible, even when it may feel insurmountable. A library called. They shared with me that they'd had to ban students. Imagine my internal conflict magnet. Children banned from a safe and welcoming space? I scheduled a visit, not to investigate, to observe, listen, feel the energy of this space, understand the pressures that the staff were under. Fortunately, I wasn't alone. School leaders, community partners, and neighbors, they were asking the same questions. How can we better support students? How can we change a few behaviors of the disruptors without punishing the many students who simply wanted a safe space to go after school? Together, we sat in a circle, we connected, and we found solutions. Instead of banning students, a local church and other nonprofits came alongside the library to offer after-school activities. This way, the students stayed connected, yes, to the resources, but also to the caring adults around them who had chosen to show up and stay engaged. That's what it looks like to stay connected through conflict. Most of us aren't taught how to deal with conflict. We're taught to avoid it or react to it. What if there was a better way? What if there was a way for us to actually process and help repair? That's the process of being restorative, using restorative practices. Instead of responding to harm, actually understanding it, asking who's been affected, what do they need, and who should be part of making it right. Too often when conflict happens, we blame, we punish. Punishment leads to shame. Shame leads to isolation. That path doesn't lead to healing. It deepens harm. Restorative practices replaces blame with an opportunity to take responsibility. Shame is replaced with dignity. and isolation with connection, which is a sense of feeling valued. Many of our local schools have embraced restorative practices. They've even written it into their school code of conduct. We have teachers and administrators actively learning to repair harm, and in many cases, actually prevent it. This matters because behind every outburst, every fight, there is a story. For an 11-year-old boy, it was his first day of middle school, and this is after a summer caring for his younger siblings, including a little baby sister. Towards the end of the day, he was overwhelmed. He paced near the door in his last class of the day. The first few times, the teacher asked him to sit, and he did. The last time, he didn't. As he made his way towards the door, the teacher stood in his way with her hands raised. He had seen hands raised before, and this time he fought. Within seconds, the teacher's injured. In tears, he fled. Exclusionary practices would have this child suspended, expelled, possibly charges. This teacher wanted to know more. This teacher wanted to understand what is going on in his life to be triggered the first day of school. She wanted him to know that she still cared. She asked for a restorative conference. Weeks later, we gathered. The teacher, her advocate, the boy, his mother, his grandmother, and community partners that can help well into the future past this facilitated event. A local mentor leaned in, locked eyes with the boy, and said, "You belong. Take responsibility, and I will walk with you through this." Everyone in the circle contributed to a plan: mentoring, family support, and healing. Because connection, real connection, leads to healing. Not just for the student, for everyone involved. Instead of another student pushed out, that circle created a better path forward. According to the University of Chicago Education Lab, schools with restorative conferencing have an 18% reduction in out-of-school suspensions and a 35% decrease in student arrests. This is real data. It works. And it made me wonder, what if, instead of just responding to harm after it's happened, what if we were able to prevent it? What if we were able to build our communities strong enough to stay connected even when things are hard? That's peace building. It's what I experienced on a trip to Germany with our mayor and other business leaders invested in building peace. For several days, we visited memorials, just immersing ourselves in peace building, and we learned history, not just from the museums, but through people's lived experience. We learned how a nation had chosen to face its past through dialogue, truth, and healing. We were inspired. Restorative practices, peace building, they're not just strategies, they're not programs, they're shifts in our mindset. They take us from reacting to reflecting, from shutting down to showing up. They change the question from who do we blame to how do we repair? It's been an honor to witness everything that's happening in our community. Communities where people feel seen, heard, and valued. where connection replaces isolation, where healing replaces harm. When we invest in connection, we create safer schools, stronger workplaces, and more compassionate communities. And the best part, it's not complicated. It's just human. Conversation, accountability, compassion, that's how change begins. Believe in this work, be part of it, because when we show up with presence and intention, we create the kind of community where everyone belongs.